Retro Racing Reports from Baylands Raceway Park. It's the 7-Up Summer Nationals Open Competition Sprint Car Races from June of 1984. That confused me a bit. How can you have open competition with sprint car races? Well, those rules are outlined up here, and essentially you have the standard safety rules apply, but there's no engine limit. And there's a 25 square foot wing rule. So there you go. Okay. There's no article or featured article in this program. There are several photos and whatever else. But Tim Kennedy has annotated his program just to crazy extremes. And if you look at some of these pages, you will see in his notes that lots of information shows up. For instance, Patty Goodard is now the timing and scorer who replaced Ronnie Allen, who died 2 weeks prior to the show from a heart attack. And you wouldn't know that by looking at the program itself, but it's in Kennedy's notes. Also, while leading the main event, Lee James wound up having to pull off the track. Well, everybody pulled off the track. They threw a red flag for somebody crashed. Red flag. Tried to restart, and Lee James could not refire, even though he was the leader. And that shows up scribbled in here in the notes, along with bicycles and flips and whatever else that happened to these guys. So I encourage you to slow down the video, stop every now and then, and just take a look at some of these. It's crazy. So the article that we do have is from the newspaper, and we'll go through that right now. This article is by Mike Weaver of the Argus, which is out of Fremont, Union City, and Newark. It's the sports page in promotion of the event from Friday, June 22, 1984. When Sacramento's Jimmy Sills takes the green flag at Baylands Raceway Park tonight, he'll be battling for more than $3,000 prize money that goes to the winner of the weekend's 7-Up Summer Nationals Sprint Car Race. That's because the track has offered up a $25,000 bonus to any driver who can successfully sweep the 4 races that make up the Nationals Series. And since Sills won the Spring Nationals in April, a victory this weekend would push him halfway towards that bonus and a total payoff of nearly $50,000. Sills won the Summer Nationals last year and enters this weekend's action as the odds-on favorite. He's already won 18 main events this year, including 6 at Baylands, and he's had more career victories here than any other sprint car driver. I think I have a good chance to repeat, Sills says. I've got a good ride this year, and I've always been pretty successful at Baylands. Well, he's been successful here because the track is suited to his style of driving. I like tracks that are dry and slick, Sills says, and Baylands is usually that way by the time of the feature. If the track is sticky, anybody with horsepower can be fast, he added. But if the track is dry and slick, only the more experienced drivers can be fast. It takes more finesse to run a dry, slick track. Sills will begin defense of his Summer Nationals Championship tonight when he attempts to qualify for Saturday night's finals. Tonight's action is scheduled to begin at 7 p.m. and will include 5 10-lap progressive heat races and a 20-lap main event. Saturday's racing is slated to begin at 7:30 with a consolation event and a semi-main preceding the 30-lap feature. Although Sills has enjoyed tremendous success at Baylands in the past, he figures to get some stiff competition from Arizona's Lealand McSpadden and Livermore's Chuck Gurney. Sills finished second to McSpadden at Washington last weekend and would like to get some revenge here. Leland had about a half a track lead on me at one point last week, Sills said. I ran him down, but with 9 laps to go, a yellow flag came out. Then with 3 laps to go, I climbed the wall and he went on to win. I'd kind of like to get even this weekend. Following the Summer Nationals, Sills will take his act to the Midwest, where he'll be competing against members of the World of Outlaws Tour. The Outlaws are generally regarded as the finest sprint car drivers in the country, and most of them will be here in September for the Fall Nationals. And for that reason, Sills figures that event will be the toughest of the National Series and the key stepping stone towards the $50,000. Usually we get about 4 cars out here that are real fast, he says. But when the Outlaws are in town, you get about 20 cars that are real fast. And if you don't qualify near the front, there's no way you're going to win. Although Sills will be attempting to take the second step toward that possible $50,000 payday, he will have to share this weekend's spotlights with the AMA drag bike motorcycle races, which will be held at Fremont Drag Strip beginning at 4:30 on Saturday. Motorcycle races will continue Sunday with the action scheduled at 1 p.m. The busy weekend of racing will come to a close with NASCAR stock car racing on Sunday night. Sunday's action will scheduled to begin at 6:30, and the program will be followed by a special exhibition of the Joey Chitwood Thrill Show.
Hey, this is Harold. Glad you enjoyed that video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, put your comments down below. There's a lot more where this one came from.